here, that area will trigger a short squeeze. In the next 2.5 days, that we are potentially forming the bottom, a rising wedge here to the upside. A major signal has just flashed for the crypto market and for Bitcoin. That is something that we need to talk about today, because this signal hasn't flashed in over 4 years. Let's go. Welcome back to the AMCrypto channel. My name is Alex, and now let me show you what I actually found here. We're gonna start here with the DXY today, the dollar strength index. And what we can see here is that the dollar index is right now in a rising wedge here to the upside and is really close to potentially break this to the downside. And the downside target would be all the way down here at 104, more or less, 104 points approximately. And once you see the dollar losing strength, all risk on assets will increase in price, and that will of course affect massively again the Bitcoin price and the crypto price overall, because every time when we see the dollar index rolling over, the market, the crypto market is pumping to the upside. Otherwise, the next major resistance, if we would still come a little bit higher here before we break down, would be 106.5 points here overall. Right now, I don't really believe that we are going to reach it. The US markets are still closed for an hour or two. We have to wait here a little bit to see what's happening with the dollar index over the next, let's say, 2-3 hours. We could potentially see of weakness throughout the US session. Then also here, we should not forget the USDT dominance against the Bitcoin price correlation. Remember, I told you down here that we are potentially forming the bottom and gonna start from here the next leg to the upside in this bull run. And this seems to be confirmed right now, because we see here from this downwards trending line, a rejection back to the downside. And always when we get a rejection or a sharp drop along this line, this trend line, we are seeing the next leg to the upside. But you don't have to take my word for it. Let's also have a look here on the Heikinashi Wall Street cheat sheet chart. Also here we are seeing now, if I zoom in here a little bit, finally, we are putting in a green candle. So if we can close this green candle, even as it is, it doesn't matter. We just need to close it green in the next 2.5 days, green. That will be our confirmation that we are ready for the next leg to the upside in this bull market cycle. So, and yeah, we have maybe still kind of like a range that we are trading then in for the remainder of July, but around the end of July, we should get a massive continuation leg here and price expansion to the upside. Bitcoin is still holding really good above the $62,000 level. And the main question that I'm asking myself is, who is driving the price right now? Is it leverage traders? Is it spot bidders? And that means retail. Who is driving it? So, and right now, I'm really happy to see that spot bids are holding current prices while leverage is increasing a little bit. So, but what I believe is happening here is that a lot of people try to flip short here again. You see overall the leverage kind of goes gradually slightly down, and that is showing us that there is kind of like a balance right now between shorts and longs equally getting wins and losses. And that's kind of when you see like a line like that, you know, so when it's kind of well balanced out. And then when you see spots still having an uptrend, spot bids having an uptrend, you know, okay, current prices are supported by spot bids, more retail is coming in. And yeah, the open interest that is increasing here right now might be actually shorts trying to short back down to like $60,000. So, but I'm not concerned for the moment about that. When we are going to the 4-hourly chart for Bitcoin, also here has a signal flashed. The EMA ribbon is about to flip back here into an uptrend. We need here another 2 hours potentially to confirm that, when the yellow string of that EMA ribbon is coming out on top of the ribbon overall. And once that is happening, that means we're starting the new uptrend. The only thing that we need to establish a proper flip is continuous price action above the EMA ribbon for a short period of time, so that the ribbon can properly flip. And once the ribbon has properly flipped, then we see strings expanding again, which will lead to continuation to the upside. So and here the next imminent target based on the liquidation levels is $65,000 more or less, and a little bit higher, or 65,400. These are short, super short-term targets in terms of over-leveraged liquidity is sitting that could be taken out here and is more or less in alignment with the 200 moving average that could be retested at the same moment, just with a wick. We wick up here, come straight back down, consolidate a little bit downwards, get the next leg to the upside. And guys, if you want to know what kind of indicator I'm using for this, that is the MDX ALGO indicator. So if you want the same indicator, go in the description under this video. I'm gonna leave a link for you there if you want also this indicator, because it helps me a lot to understand market psychology and where the smart money is looking to drive the market to. So for example, again, first I believe we are going up to like the $66,000 level, then we will come back down. We will see how low we go then, and then we continue to the upside here. Because once we're tapping into $66,400 here, that area will trigger a short squeeze and will push us beyond $68,000. So, but first, of course, we need to clear these other levels. Now, in terms of liquidation heat map, here on CoinGlass. So here also the hottest area you see is $65,000. That I did not look that up before the show, guys, you know, so before I made this video, I just looked at it now. And as you can see, this is in perfect alignment with what I just said, that liquidity is sitting at $65,000. So once we're tapping into this, you're gonna get potentially a quick squeeze to 66. And you see here is then a darker area. There's not a lot of liquidity sitting. There, most likely it's going to stop. Either retraces a little bit down to liquidate all the late long traders that are coming in, or starts consolidating here and getting ready for the next push to the upside, to the next hottest area of $69,000. So that is how smart money is playing the market, guys. That is something really crucial to understand. And then here on the 12-hourly chart, current price levels are struggling to move higher because of the historical volume traded areas that we are in. So as you can see here is one of the longest bars out of the histogram. And because of that, we are struggling to break above that level. So because it means that historically here was a lot of price action going on in that range from $62,500 to $63,400. That's why we are struggling here. But once we are breaking here to the upside, the next target would be here $64,665, which is more or less really close to 65. Yeah, kinda. So, and because here is a small gap, before we get the next longest bar, let me show it to you. So here, that is a so-called gap. I just make this now a different color because yellow is not so beautiful. So here, that gap, that leads to quick price expansion to the upside when you see a gap like this on the VPVR. So once price is getting here over that cluster, you get a quick expansion to the upside into the next bigger cluster. There, normally you get rejected, gain momentum, and then you get the next leg into that resistance. So in here, as you can see, we can go up all the way to $64,500 and then get a quick move to 66, potentially 65,800. But there, most likely we are going to see a rejection back down to like 64,500 potentially to test as support, consolidate, and then move into higher price levels. Also in terms of indicators, the stochastic is here about to be heavily overbought, but on the MACD we are just getting a buy signal. The RSI has also so much more room to go to the upside. So worst case scenario, we get some sideways chop so that the stochastic can cool down. If we don't get sideways chop, we straight gonna continue to go to the upside. And if you're looking for entries on Bitcoin, a good entry right now would be $63,300, but only if we get a 1 hourly candle closed above that level, not before. Or if we come back down to like 61,800 potentially, that's also a good level for an entry to trade this into $66,000. Here on the daily chart, the downwards trend line was here now broken, and that is confirmed with this big push here above it, and also these the candle from yesterday with today's continuation candle. I don't want to rule out that there is potentially a retest coming to that level, but not all the way down to the trend line. I think it's too much, you know. So I think that would be a 4% move. I think that's too much. But yeah, a little bit lower, you know, maybe like I said, 68,100, then sideways chop, then next leg to the upside. And something else that we need to flip here, another signal that I was looking at from the MDX indicator, let me actually get it here, is here trend progression. And here the trend progression says that we are still in a downtrend here based on the red string that we are seeing here on the daily chart. And that price needs to get above that to flip here back into an uptrend that is supported by that green band. So, and for that, we need a move above $64,000. So if we are not getting that move really quickly in the next 24 to 48 hours, then most likely we are going to get a rejection from this red ribbon band. And we'll come a little bit lower before we gain momentum and try again to break here above. Another signal that is still worrying me a little bit is the CME gap that's below us. But historically, again, if we are not closing this by tomorrow night, it's highly unlikely that in the short term we are coming back and filling this. It will most likely remain here for quite a while then, if we're not doing this immediately. It might actually only happening in autumn for some black swan news event, whatever, but not in the imminent short term. If we are not doing this by latest tomorrow evening, then it will remain here as one of these ever CME gaps that potentially never getting closed. So I will not say never, because I think in the next bear market we will definitely come back down to these kind of prices, but we are almost over a year away from that to actually see this happening. Here on this 4-hourly chart is a next potential trade opportunity, and also much cleaner than what I have shown you before, and that is here that bull flag scenario. So if we break here above $63,000 with a 30-minute candle close, then you can enter in this trade setup. The bull flag target would be here all the way up at $66,100, perfectly in alignment with a lot of confluence that I had given here in previous charts. So that is definitely a trade that I will take myself. And also from a risk to reward ratio, that will make a lot of sense. So I'm going to show you why. So here, almost 5% to the upside, and I will have, a 1.55% stop loss. Actually, a little bit lower than that. I might take the current candle. Yes, so 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio. That statistically is a really good trade setup, and I'm willing to take this. And once we are reaching the $66,000 level, I want to flip short from here and target again potentially $62,400. So because again, around $66,000, there is a lot of resistance. Look at here. If I would draw here a line, there is a lot of resistance around. So it makes sense to try to short this here in the short term. Again, guys, you know, I'm not a huge fan of shorting a lot, especially in the bull market, but this just looks too good to be true to not take this potential short here. So if I lose on this short here and I get stopped out, it doesn't matter. I lose here 1.55%, but I make here 4.84%, and here I use more leverage than over here. So I will be fine. So I will still walk away with money because of this trade setup if this is playing out. So I'm not worried about that. Here, another reason why I want to take this trade is, first of all, on the stochastic, we are about to bottom out soon. The RSI is already turning around. On the MACD, we get potentially a bounce. And here, underlying support is the chandelier exit indicator, that green line that is slowly creeping up. Usually when we are creeping up, it means we're getting continuation. And also the 50 moving average is turning around to the upside. So also here, it shows that momentum is in favor of the bulls here to the upside. And guys, don't forget, if you want to trade anywhere, trade on BYBIT. These kind of setups, you still get $30,000 absolutely for free with the link down below here. Also Margex without any KYC with the link down below here. I still have a massive position open on Margex. I'm going to show it to you tomorrow actually. And also my new platform that I'm going to open the next Bitcoin trade with. Here weeks, also $20,000 worth of bonuses and no KYC on top of that, which is amazing with the link down below here. Go and check this out. And again, also you find here in this description down below the MDX algo indicator if you want to also use these indicators that I'm using that are helping me to make a lot of money. So now in terms of the Bitcoin dominance, we see exactly what we were predicting here with our forecasted pattern. We just came in a little bit lower than I had it anticipated because it was up here. But overall, the structure that I was forecasting is coming here into fruition. Now you see dominance is coming down, altcoins going, of course, up at the same time because Bitcoin is not going too much down at the same time. Here we should get by tomorrow the next leg to the upside with Bitcoin going to the upside, potentially breaking the $64,000 level. And that's what I'm looking out for. Don't worry about altcoins. Most of them will do fine at the same time. But what we really want is to break under the 54% level to see the real start of a proper altcoin season. So again, when we get here close to 55% and you have some altcoins that are in the red, this is the perfect time to add to your current positions, and that's also what I'm going to do. Then here on BYBIT, my LDO trade is here in a slight profit right now, nothing crazy, you know, absolutely nothing crazy. It was already $1,000 up at an earlier point yesterday, but that's absolutely fine. I'm still convinced that we are going up here to my targets, but we're going to talk about that in a moment. Then Solana also finally breaking the second downward sloping trend line here. Here I also wait for one nice push to the upside, an inefficiency candle that most likely gets slammed down here with an almost 10% move to the upside. That's what I'm looking for in Solana over the next couple of days. I don't think that we're going to reach straight away $176.92, but like 168, 164, kind of like here, that level, that is the next target for Solana, in my opinion. And you should also not ignore that this is a potential V-shaped recovery. So in a V-shaped recovery, once the V-shape is completed, you usually get some sideways consolidation and then continuation to the upside. Hence why I'm still holding my Solana position that I dollar cost average down in terms of my entry that I started at like $180 and now it's at 160, I think. Price-wise, so I still try to average it a little bit lower to like 150, and then I let it run from there all the way past $200. So, but here this might be a good entry because we might get soon that next leg here to the upside. And here I would ignore the stochastic because the RSI is super bullish, the MACD is super bullish, and price is also pointing to continuation. So in that case, I would ignore what the stochastic RSI is telling me. Now, Ethereum is still lagging here a little bit in terms of price action, but the reason for that, I'm going to show you the reason for that, is that here is a huge order block cluster. So, and that is now kind of trapping the Ethereum price. That's why we are seeing here only some consolidation and not big moves here above the $3,500 level. So once this consolidation is over, and remember, we have here for once a W shape, but we also have here an ascending triangle at the same time. Here, worst case, by next week, Monday, we should get a breakout out of that. And if it's the W pattern, then potentially even earlier, but we need a close above $3,500 to solidify that W pattern, because if we keep going sideways, this is not a W pattern anymore, then we get the confirmation that this is just an ascending triangle with the potential target here of $3,750 to the upside. Here again, if you want to trade this above $3,500 will be your entry. Then NEAR is the other coin. If you did not get in here, where I told you along that white line at $5.05, your next level is $5.38, basically where we are sitting at right now, for the simple reason that we are trying to break above that, but you want to see a proper break above that level. So you want to see a break, let's say best case you get in at $5.39 to make sure that we are above that resistance area here. And this looks like a small cup and handle pattern. So, and that would give us a target. So of course it's now hand drawn more or less, but it would give us a target of $5.90. So that is almost a 10% move to the upside once we're getting this break here on the 4-hourly chart. So look out for that, because it looks like that NEAR is gearing up for that break to the upside. So either you get in now or around $5.39, $5.40. These are the price levels that I would be looking at to get into this. Then LIDO, LDO, also same thing, consolidation below resistance. Once we are breaking this resistance at $2.10, you can, if you haven't yet, enter this trade and trade this into here the upward sloping resistance line. That will be the first target around $2.40 more or less right now. I told a lot of you guys to get in at like $1.98, $2, so you would be slightly in a profit right now. Once we are clearing here that resistance, you will be in really nice profits. On the 4-hourly chart, things are looking a little bit indecisive in terms of indicators, but that's because we are chopping here sideways. So once here we get a higher time frame push, and we should get one soon based on what I see here, losing momentum on the sell side in terms of the MACD, bullish crossover on the stochastic RSI slightly creeping up here in a sideways manner. So there is definitely a big push coming really soon, you know. So, and also that inefficiency candle will then most likely get filled here. That is on the top side sitting at $2.30. Then FDM here, still wait for that break of this downwards trending line here. Once we're above that at 61 cents, I would enter for trading FDM, not before. I remember I told you guys get in here at around 52 and 55 cents, but if you did not catch it, just wait for the next bigger resistance to be broken, and then you can trade this into these golden ratios here at 80 cents, and here extended golden ratios to $1.26. Then the last one, Injective still fighting with this downward sloping resistance line. More or less what we are seeing on many altcoins right now, that they're all consolidating under resistance. But once they're breaking, we only need like one or two breaking through this kind of resistance, and you're going to see that all of them in alignment going to break it. So it can be a big push that we get in Bitcoin. It could be a big injection of capital into the crypto market overall. It could be USDT mint printing again, that could lead to that. So, but this consolidation under current resistance levels in multiple projects and also in Bitcoin is telling me that a bigger move is coming here to the upside really, really soon. So here, again, if you want to play it safe, you get in above $24. If you are a little bit more risk adverse, you're going to get in at the break of this downward sloping trend line at around $23. So that's completely up to you. Here, on the higher time frames, it looks like that we are getting here a little bit more consolidation and sideways movement because the stochastic just gave a sell signal. MACD is also not looking the best, and the RSI is kind of going sideways. So again, that is just telling me for the moment we might go a little bit more sideways. But if we are getting tomorrow a candle above the downward sloping trend line, this could be a good moment to at least test out the waters a little bit. And guys, that's it already for today's episode here. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you then again with power tomorrow.